You just have to be willing to put yourself out there. And once you do, the magic will begin to happen. I'm happy to use my life as an example so that others can learn. You may have to let some things go before you become successful. Success looks different on everybody, and so does the process. Some of you want success but don't want to let go of the exact thing that's in your way of obtaining success. You can't have it both ways. Welcome to Living Your Truth with Tavares. Wow, thank you. I am living in my blessing. Thank you so much. This is great. Wow. Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. Thank you for being here again with me on another lovely Saturday. Y'all know we're here every Saturday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. Today, I have two of my favorite people. I have Marla and Jami from BringBackIntimacy.com. Their mission is to rescue marriages from the brink of giving up, transforming them into vibrant connections filled with joy and deeper happiness than ever before. Together, they turn your love story into an inspiring tale of connection and joy. Welcome, Marla and Jami.
Thank you, Tavares. It's so great to be here. We are so excited.
Thank you so very much for joining us today. So I do see that you guys have a lot of things going up. You have a 2-day couples retreat coming up in July in Boise, Idaho, July 26th and 27th, and you're going to be in person. Let's talk about that. How did that come to be?
Oh well, it's just our next one, right? We do these about every quarterly, but what that entails is just really great 2-day infusion for any relationship that is looking to up level.
Yeah,
Nice.
we actually this one we normally do them at a Airbnb or something and it's small and very very quaint and everybody gets to know each other really well. This one's going to be a larger one with more couples, and it's less expensive, and so it's a really great way to like Jami said, reignite, refresh, and level up the relationship.
Nice. I love that. And how did you two get into this space where you began to be experts in coaching other couples with and on intimacy? How did this all come to be for you both?
Well, that's an interesting story. In 1995, we were 7 years old, and we both had our degree, and we were getting ready to get our licenses for counseling, and we volunteered to be a part of a project that was for court-mandated domestic violence cases.
Wow.
And and so we were trained, and
This is couples who wanted to stay together. The court mandated them to come to the. We had a 22-week weekly 2-hour sessions where I had the women and Jami had the men.
Wow.
And we talked them through and walked them through learning how to feel your feelings, how to express in a healthy way, anger management stuff, obviously, and all of the core issue things like lifespan and development, what stages of development, blind spots have you brought into the relationship that have created the dynamics that you have.
Very nice. Wow, that's impressive and very helpful. It sounds like you guys are definitely servant leaders. I'm a servant leader myself, so I love to hear about anyone, especially a team like you two, coming into the space to help others be better. Your vision right here is. Let me see. Our vision is a world where every marriage flourishes, transcending defeat and resentment to become a testament to joy, deep happiness, and vibrant connection. We aspire to lead couples on a transformative journeys, revitalizing relationships into inspiring tales of closeness and happiness, where every love story is a beacon of hope and fulfillment. First of all, whoever wrote that is a genius. That is so beautiful.
Thank you, and also, it was a joint effort between Jami and I.
Very nice. Really poetic. I love that.
Marla's the real writer here. I just the idea man.
I like that. And how long, for everyone listening, how long have you two been together?
we just celebrated our 35th wedding
36.
anniversary.
Wow.
36th wedding anniversary, and we've been together for 37.5 years.
Congratulations. Wow.
Yeah, since the dinosaurs.
Yes.
I love your energy. What is one of the, I guess, what are the one main ingredients that keep you guys so fun, so vibrant, and so in love?
Oh,
Well,
well,
it comes down to communication.
Nice.
And bottom line, that's what everybody needs better in their relationship is communication.
and everybody says that, right? Oh, we want better communication. But it's more than just basic communication tools. It's utilizing the true heart language, which is speaking from your heart with real feeling words. The emotion is the chemical in your body that's being produced. Feeling words are what you put to that emotion. And so it's sharing from the heart place. Hey, right now I'm feeling connected and happy and excited. Tells you a lot more than any story I might be able to tell you.
Nice, very well. Right now, you guys are locked in with Tavares and Marla and Jami. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. We will be right back.
Sit tight. We're paying some bills, and we'll be right back.
It takes a certain kind of man to run a farm and ranching business in California. It's not just a living, it's a way of life. And before you can be that man's banker, you'd better understand that way of life. That's why employees of Chase Bank like Bill Heilebrand spend some of their time outside of the bank. They pull on their boots, roll up their sleeves, and find out firsthand what ranching is all about. So no matter what your business, get to know a banker who knows what the business is all about. A man like Bill Heilebrand, a bank like Chase Bank, JP Morgan Chase, N.A., member FDIC.
Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. We are locked in today with Marla and Jami from BringBackIntimacy.com. Myself and Amber had the honor to work with and meet them back on the Thrive Summit back in April, which was a experience and a half. We had so much fun. There were so many great speakers, so much great talent. The influences that were there, Marla and Jami, that was such an incredible event. So thank you. I want to give you guys your flowers here on the show. Thank you so much for having myself and Amber be there.
Well, you know what? You too. You just knocked it out of the park. What you bring, just your energy and your connection and your story is so beautiful. But what you bring in this space of what a coupleship can look like when it really is has that true intimate connection, emotional, physical, and which also has the desire to thrive instead of just kind of get along.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, when we talk about emotion and we talk about intent and determination and stepping into ourselves, what comes to mind for both you, Jami, and Marla? What do you guys think about when I mention things like love and passion and intimacy? Obviously, this is your lane, so go ahead, let the people know what comes to mind.
Well, it comes down to getting behind the facade that we build for ourselves.
Okay.
Right? And getting really honest with ourselves and practicing these skills of identifying what is that feeling and where does it come from, right? And in order to be passionate about the things that are truly the most valuable to you, you have to be able to cut away false attachments, lies about yourself, purities, and get real honest about what your skills really are, and dig into that with a partner that can be that reflection of accountability and also be, vulnerable and honest with you.
Yeah. And I think for me, the adding on to that is the core piece. And then having continuing to engage in adventure and play and fun and expressing that in different ways, because we've been together for so long that people say, well, after the third year, whatever, the passion at the beginning fades into a gentle, loving, connected relationship. Yes, and it doesn't have to end passion as well. And Jamie and I, the tools that we practice 20-second hugs every day. We practice 2 6-second kisses every day. We are intentional about touch. We're intentional about holding hands. We're intentional about those things. I didn't used to be that way. I had to learn to be that way because I wasn't born a kinesthetic, and Jamie was, right? And so I had to learn that. But those things creates oxytocin, the love and bonding chemical. And with that, it allows us to have a deeper and deeper and deeper connection because our receptors, oxytocin receptors, keep growing and expanding. And so that passion doesn't ever have to fade. It doesn't. And people are like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, nope, we know because we've been married together this long and it keeps getting better and better.
Nice. I love the answer. I love your transparency. Thank you so much for that. Let's dig a little deeper into you. You mentioned that, Marla, you weren't born this way. Let's talk about the transition that takes place in coming into that space, because I myself grew up with very little affection. My mother was a single mother of 4. She worked 3 jobs. So there were some things that we had to go without for the sake of surviving. So talk a little bit more about how does one come into the space of being more affectionate, the type of attention and intention it takes to come into that space.
Wow, for me, I can tell you for me, right, that having Jamie be so touchy and so all it felt like in the beginning, right, all up in my space, even though I liked it most of the time. Sometimes I was like, okay, that you're rubbing my arm raw right there or whatever, right? And so in that space, learning how important touch was for Jamie and telling myself consistently, multiple times a day, I need to be touching Jamie. I need to be connecting. The thing that was difficult during that period of time was when I would touch Jamie, his immediate thought was, oh, she wants to have sex. And so it was kind of like, and then I kind of pulled back and stopped touching.
Didn't you want to have sex?
Oh, man. And sometimes, yes, and sometimes I just wanted to be connected, right? And so in that, I kind of had pulled away. And then as we learned more and more about this stuff, I started, okay, I'm going to be intentional and also have a better conversation around it with Jamie and let him know that when there were expectations and I felt pressured, it was much harder for me to desire to just be close and touch him and connect. And that was huge for me to do because here I am, I'm a recovering codependent and a recovering approval addict and a recovering perfectionist. And so to actually tell him that was really difficult. But I was so grateful because he received it so well and he heard me with my intention, not me saying, oh, why do you pressure me? But me saying, help me do better in this area so that we can both grow in this area.
Oh my goodness.
Some time and intention to get there, but it was definitely worth it. And then there was a point that because sex was so big for Jamie, which is generally the case for men, not always, but a lot of the times. And so in that space of, okay, one year I decided, and I think it was like 2012, I decided no matter what, because Jamie would say about every 6 months or so, I just wish we would have more sex. I would like to make love more often. And I just told myself, you know what? I'm going to do it every other day. I don't care if I feel like it or not. If I'm sick, I'm going to do it every other day. And so I just started doing it. And I didn't tell Jamie for a year. And he was so happy. And he was never saying, hey, I want more sex. And I was like, well, I guess this works. And actually that changed me.
Wow.
And that was actually more powerful for me than anything else. And Jamie loved it. And when I told him, he was like, oh, well, thank you, right? But for me, it changed me because I had made the choice to do it and to not be in that space of resentment could build, all the things that can come up when you're just sitting there thinking, oh, all he wants is this from me. So it was a really huge piece of that for my experience of the touch thing. And I am super kinesthetic and touchy now. But it took me those intentional things every single day. I made that choice. And it had to be an intentional choice before it actually ended up being a feeling and an experience for me.
Wow. Thank you so much for that explanation. Thank you for going in depth as well. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. I'm here with Jami and Marla from Bring Back Intimacy. We will be right back. What you say?
I heard it through the grapevine.
Remember, practice positive self-talk. Treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. I'm here with two of my favorite people, Marla and Jami from BringBackIntimacy.com. This is what they do, y'all. They help couples bring back that fire. They help them reconnect. Jami, for you, my man, you know I appreciate you, brother. For the men being in this space, let's speak to some of the men who may have challenges with affection, right? How or what would you suggest they become more a part of? Would it be, say, dating? Would it be more courting, more chivalry? What do you say to that?
Well, my recommendation is if you have challenges with that emotional intimacy, that is what is going to build everything that you want. Right? If you can fix that, if you can become more emotionally connected when you're communicating with everybody around you, and also, most importantly, with your partner, right? Who or your people you're dating. So that emotional intimacy. What women are looking for is for that emotional connection. We call it the emotional sexual loop.
Okay.
Right? If you build the emotional connection between, romantically interested people, that will develop the sexual part easily and simply. And, we are intimacy coaches, but we very rarely talk about the mechanics of that. There's a few little things we talk about, but mostly it's about the emotional quality that you bring to that communication. How well can you describe what you're feeling? Do you know where those feelings are coming from and what they mean? Mm-hmm. And can you emote them in a way that your partner can receive them with an open heart?
Nice.
And so that's what it comes back to, these skills. What we're essentially talking about is what John Gottman talks about when he says couples that turn towards each other stay together.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. That is probably one of the most important pieces of information that John Gottman has ever shared. But what he's talking about there is turning towards your partner with an open heart. Right?
I like
so
that.
when there is distance, when there is tension, when there is conflict, being able to stop and listen and really pick up what's going on and having empathy for it, regardless of whether you agree with the point of view or not. Having empathy for your partner is how you build that emotional intimacy. And you get those 20-second hugs and those 6-second kisses when those are appropriate, right? Holding hands, initiating just small touches, even just a small touch on the arm or, whatever, non-sexual touch. Mm-hmm. Those are the kinds of things that, are helping communicate what is in your heart at that heart level.
Very well put, my man. I appreciate that. And I love the fact that you mentioned small steps. And when I look at that, I see small steps, big results, or, small steps, big rewards, depending on how the person feels about what they're a part of. But I love that because I know for us men, a lot of the times, excuse me, if our partners touch us, we do think sex. We do have that on our mind. So it's important to be connected. And I love how you also said turn toward each other, in a space where you may have some differences. I agree and I subscribe to that. So I thank you very much for saying that. I'm on your Instagram. First and foremost, you guys look great. I mean, I'm so serious. You're so beautiful. I love your vibration. Every time I see y'all picture, it just gives off such great energy. And I'm looking at The 3 tips for keeping coupleship magic alive. Let's talk about these 3 tips. What are they, and how do you feel their impact is when you share this with your community that you serve?
All right, so let me make sure because we post a bunch of crap. So no, it's good. It's not bad. It's not bad. So the 3 tips for keeping coupleship magic alive is number one is to practice the 20-second hug.
I love that.
And what we recommend is not just once a day, but twice a day. And if you aren't working together like Jamie and I, which most couples are not working together all the time. I know you and Amber work together a lot of the time. And so when you're together, it's not as you have to remind yourself anyway, because you're so used to just doing the things you do. Now, when you're not together, this could be a 20-second hug in the morning, and you could involve dancing there.
Oh.
It's just a slow dance while you're doing the 20-second hug. And then in the evening when you get home, and just a kiss goodbye and a kiss hello. That's another thing that Gottman says is such a powerful tool to connection. So number one is to practice the 20-second hugs 2 times a day without expectation, because it's the expectation of sex that can be disconnection in the relationship, especially if the woman has had sexual trauma, which most women have. They say 4 out of 5 women have experienced sexual trauma, and that's reported.
Wow.
So in that space, being very, very aware of that with your partner, very aware of how touch affects them, and build it slowly if you need to, if there seems to be some kind of tension or hurt or pain in that area, which is pretty common for the couples that we work with. It's more common than not.
Wow.
So, number two here is being present to your feelings and expressing them healthily, which is I just mentioned for guys, right?
Yeah.
So what that means is, okay, so we all do this thing called disassociation or checking out.
Yep.
Everybody does it. Some of us do it a little too well, right? And that's one of the things that I had to learn early on was I was so good at shutting down my emotions. That I could hardly name any feelings.
Wow.
Right. And so I had to really stop and say, what is, because, in my history, I had just tons of anxiety, and the anxiety just numbed everything else out.
Exactly.
Right. And you just learn to get used to that. I didn't even know that I had anxiety until about 5 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
And it turns out that I had crippling anxiety most of my life. And but my tolerance for it was so high that I never thought about, I have anxiety. And so knowing what's going on with you and what motivates you, what you truly value most, starting there and then learning how to feel those feelings, it takes a concerted amount of work. It is, we have the tools to do this, and it makes it so much better and so much faster. And that's what makes our coaching so powerful, right? We start to cut through this in a very quick way, giving each of our clients the skills to feel those feelings, use our feeling well 5.0, to express those feelings in feeling language, which Brene Brown says is critical to being able to emote. Her latest book, Atlas of the Heart, the very first thing she says is, very first chapter, get differentiation.
Wow.
Get granularity.
Get granularity about how you feel as the number one relationship tool. And that's one of the things we've been doing for 25 years with that feeling wheel. So it's such an important and vast thing to really get to those feelings.
Yeah, and number 3 is share your deepest desires, and that comes back to what we were talking about earlier with that oxytocin. And it doesn't matter if you're dating or you're engaged, if you're married, if you're living together. It doesn't matter what kind of relationship, even the dating relationship. If you are dating because you're looking for a long-term relationship, doing these things are going to be so powerful, because most people don't do this. And so being able to share your feelings, share your heart, and I'm going to go with, this is stereotyping, because stereotypes are there for a reason. And we see this in our practice.
Of course.
Is that men generally have a harder time expressing feeling language, expressing even emotion, even, a little tear or whatever, which sounds, that's not the only part of it, but men have a difficult time not thinking that they have to be a real man and buck it up, buttercup, and not ever show their emotions. I do think that the millennials, which I think you guys are millennials and the Generation Y, the lower end Xers, are actually deciding that that's important, that it's okay to express feeling, that it's okay to do that. But we see it still pretty consistently to people come to see us, that the man generally is having a difficult time expressing emotion. Does it mean that women don't have that? No, we absolutely have that as well. It's just a lower percentage. But it's that place where you get to because you're so you expressed feeling as a child and you were shut down in some way.
Very well
and so
put.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. Keep going.
And so that shutdown says, I will always, because, it happens when you're a kid. It happened to both Jamie and I. When you're a kid, that shut up, I'll give you something to cry about was what Jamie heard. I heard just relax, you're fine, right? Unless we were happy. And so in that space, when you get into a relationship, or even if you're dating, you don't share vulnerably because you're afraid of being rejected and abandoned.
Very true, very well put. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares, and I'm so honored to be here with two of my favorite people, Jami and Marla from BringBackIntimacy.com. We will be right back. What's up, y'all? It's Tavares.
Hello, this is Adele.
And you are listening to Living Your Truth with Tavares podcast. Yo, Adele, thanks for the shout out. Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. I am him. We are here with Marla and Jami from BringBackIntimacy.com. I love these two folks. They're awesome. They've done a lot of amazing work for a lot of great couples, and they continue to do that. I want to jump right into, if you're not having the best sex of your life, here are some reasons why. Please talk to the people about the best sex of their life right now.
This is one of our favorite topics. I have to tell you, though, it is probably one of the most triggering topics for a lot of people. And so just to put that into perspective before we jump into this, this is not about, we're not talking about, pressurizing it. We're not talking about, this is something, this topic is something that is so important for coupleships because most coupleships, there's an imbalance in this space. And so I want to preempt it by saying that because that is important, and every person is so valuable. And like for Jamie and I am so there's a book called Come As You Are, a fantastic book by Emily Nagoski, and she breaks down for women, she breaks down all the stuff around sex. And the thing that blew my mind the first time I read that book was some women are going to be have slam on brakes because they've had, like for me, I had sexual abuse as a child. So they're going to slam on the brakes when it comes to sex. That's their initial reaction every time they're approached. And then there's the accelerator. There's a woman who has a higher accelerator, and some women have somewhere in the middle. And so the accelerator woman is like, I'm ready to go whenever. And the brakes woman is like, ooh, I need a lot more time before I get there. So just knowing that I had done that, I have actually learned to tell myself, you can let off on the brakes. It's okay. You're safe.
Wow.
And push the accelerator. That was huge for me. And so that from our experience. And so being able to even just understand that I just thought I was broken, but I wasn't broken. And women out there who are listening, you're not broken. Men out there who are listening, you're not broken. And it's just find what that is for you, what that means for you. Why is it that you're having pain in this space if you are? Or why is it that your relationship isn't as intimate as you would like it to be sexually?
Right. So number one problem that people are suffering with when it comes to this is really apathy. Right. And it's like, and I think what's really going on here is we get our dopamine from so many places today.
Yep.
Particularly particularly cell phones, are tremendously disabling our relationship. This is fascinating stuff. You know that in Japan and South Korea, they are well below the reproductive rate. In 100 years, there will be very few natives of those countries left.
Wow.
And they are literally below the sustainable production rate because they adopted, and the United States happens to be 10 years behind Japan on this. And it's because the adoption of the personal cell phone, right? The handheld computer that is bringing social media into your constantly digging into your consciousness, producing that dopamine hit, where before our primary dopamine source was our partner. Wow. And so that's shifting very drastically. And so this apathy, it's about emotional connection, planning consistent dates, or being a team. And you've become more like roommates if you're not doing those things.
Wow, that's some clarity for you right there. And it's true, because there's a lot of people even that I know who are living more like roommates. I actually remember having friends when I was younger, going through high school, whose parents were living more like roommates. Like the father had one room, the mother had another room in the house, but yet they're married. And, my friends would be like, that's just how it is. But you're saying that people have a choice in this space when they step into themselves and they start to pay attention not only to their partner, but their actions while in the relationship, correct?
Exactly. And let me tap in on this, because this is exactly what happens. When you get emotionally close to your partner, you're going to be triggered. Okay. Into an irritated, frustrated space, because they're going to touch something that you aren't really used to having touched emotionally. This always happens with every couple we've ever worked with. Wow. And it's what you do with it. The ones that do well are the ones that say, "Oh, wow, that's irritating, and let's talk about it. Let's figure this out. Let me be responsible for my side of the street. Not putting any blame on what you're doing, but let's see what we can talk about to make that work." And having the right language and the right agreements at that very early stage makes all the difference, because it's like kicking the wrong domino over. Yep. And it's a cascading effect. When you stay irritated, when you hold on to resentment, when you are digging into that kind of for me mentality, oh, my partner's just not going to be what I want.
Or defensiveness or blaming.
Right. Any of those things. Those are all symptoms of that resentment that has to be rooted out.
Oh man, I just love talking to y'all. I feel the energy. Excuse me. I love the vibration. You guys are always on this higher frequency. And so I really have a clearer understanding of just how impactful your practice is. Everybody, this is Living Your Truth with Tavares. I'm locked in with Jami and Marla from BringBackIntimacy.com. We will be right back. There's more to come. They're great.
Beachgoers all know the best way to start the day. It's breakfast at Burgers West. Breakfast is cooking at Burgers West every morning, while you can just about smell the fresh hot coffee brewing up and down the beach. Try their sun-up sandwich, cheese, eggs, and 2 ounces of sausage on a hot, fresh bun for only 99 cents. Burgers West, 1794 Beach Boulevard in Huntington Beach. There's a whole bunch of farm fresh 2-inch thick omelets to choose from. Cheese, sausage and cheese, chili and cheese. Just great with Burgers West fresh hot coffee, down home mouth watering biscuits, and southern fried taters. Breakfast at Burgers West, it will set you straight for the whole day and get you going on your way. 1794 Beach Boulevard near Pacific Coast Highway in friendly Huntington Beach. Great quality eating at down-home prices. See for yourself if they don't have the best darn breakfast along the entire coast. Open at 6 a.m. every day of the week. Burgers West. Great meals at great prices.
welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. I'm here with Jami and Marla from BringBackIntimacy.com, and we've been talking about these great opportunities when it comes to if you're not having the best sex of your life. Here are some reasons why. Jami and Marla touched on apathy, and this next one, emotional cheating. Let's talk about that. I've never heard that term. What is this about?
Well, and it is interesting because emotional cheating is that emotional affair that you hear about once in a while, and like, yeah, my husband was having an emotional affair, or my wife is having an emotional affair. This is when you are getting your emotional needs met from someone. If you are in a heterosexual relationship, it's someone from the opposite sex.
Got it.
And you're getting that from that person. And, people talk about things like, oh, my work wife or my work husband, because they're really close.
Yeah.
There can be issues when that is taking place because you're taking away from the connection with your partner. You're bleeding off your epinephrine and as throughout your day, so that when you get home, you're not really ready to be connected to your spouse or to your partner. And so it's this close, intimate connection with someone of the opposite sex that involves sharing thoughts, feelings, things that you would want to give emotionally to your partner, you're giving to this person. And you're sharing things maybe even about your partner with this person, and you're commiserating with each other. Oh yeah, isn't that sad, or isn't that whatever? And it always is going to create a level of intimacy with that person that is going to erode the connection inside of your relationship.
Wow.
And so emotional cheating, it's so interesting because there is a very fine line. It's not that we're saying don't be friends with someone of the opposite sex.
Right.
We're saying be very cautious and aware in those relationships, that you are not crossing any boundaries, that if you told your partner what you were talking about or doing with this person, that they would feel hurt, that they would feel abandoned by you. And so emotional cheating, there's so many variants, and some, every couple has to decide what that looks like in their relationship, because some people are like, I don't want you to have any of those kinds of relationships at all. And other people are like, it's not that big a deal to me. But what we found is it's the erosion that's the problem.
Wow. And I love how you put that. Thank you for being so transparent. When it comes to those relationships in the workplace, you're absolutely right, because, there's always, someone who's going through something in their relationship, and we tend to share that with people that we're around the most, and in many cases they are of the opposite sex. So I do understand how just by sharing these intimate thoughts about your partner can absolutely lure someone in, because that's kind of what vulnerability has the potential of doing. When we feel like we're being listened to or heard and we're not getting that at home, it could definitely be problematic. So thank you so much for that. The next one is porn. Now, let's dive into this. How do you feel? Where does this rank in a relationship? Is it good for the relationship if you're both watching it? Is it desensitizing the intimacy? Please.
All of the studies that we have been able to find point to a detractor for porn. There's very little that porn adds to a relationship. We're not prudes about this.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's very rarely helps a relationship.
Okay.
Pornography used by men or women at any level negatively impacts romantic relationships. It just creates really bad. Well, there's a couple things wrong with this. The porn industry, it's interesting because the porn belt and the Bible Belt are the same place.
Wow.
And that's where the most porn is watched, is in this Bible Belt.
I didn't know that.
It's right on.
That was kind of crazy, huh?
Wow.
And it's also, when we talked to men about this, primarily men suffer with pornography addiction, although the women is rising.
Which is like 36% of women.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's coming up. But so what's the deal is the time. They will start watching porn, and it'll be 4 hours later, and they have gotten nothing done, and they're like, "Oh wow, I've lost half a day here." And it's because it's hijacking the dopamine reward system. and it's creating, so porn in marriages is a killer. And the research indicates that married men who use porn are more likely to have affairs, are less attracted to their wives, and are less interested in sexual intimacy with their wives.
Wow.
So the answer to your question is, no, it's not a good thing.
All right. Thank you for breaking that
We're
down.
not foolish about this. We don't, we're not saying.
Well, and if a couple has decided to do this and they feel like it's enhancing their relationship, fantastic. As soon as there gets to be one or the other of them that says, "Hey, I'm not feeling comfortable with this," then there needs to be a better conversation around it. Because if there's at any point where somebody feels less than, not worthy, like, oh, we have to have this for our relationship to be spicy, and then starts feeling icky about it and resentful, that's where the problem is. So, and oftentimes it will turn into that, even if it started as kind of a playful thing. So it just depends on the couple, honestly. Some couples, it's not a big deal at all, but many couples we've worked with, it has become a big deal when at the beginning they have agreed to it. And then it's become something, the same kind of thing. This is a little bit off topic, but when couples decide to swing, because we have many couples that have come to us that, well, they've tried everything, including that, and it actually created way worse dynamics in their relationship and a lot of shame and a lot of pain that they didn't need to carry and to actually add on to what they were already experiencing.
I bet. Wow. I want to dig more into that, but we're going to pay some bills and be right back. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. We have Jami and Marla from BringBackIntimacy.com. Stay right there.
Try to keep that in the spotlight.
Hey, come outside, check out my new car I just got from Riverside Premier Motors. They hooked me up. Riverside Premier Motor has everything you're looking for in a vehicle. Dependability, gas saver, mid-size, full-size, SUVs, and luxuries. Bad credit, no credit, bankruptcies, no worries. Financing is available. Riverside Premier Motors is a pre-owned late model dealer that provides customers with a complete automotive experience, Carfax, and competitive prices. Riverside Premier Motors is dedicated to customer satisfaction. We're passionate about our cars, and we intend on sharing that passion with our customers. Come by today and check out our affordable inventory of dependable cars. Riverside Premier Motors is located in Riverside. From the 91 East, take the 215 North and exit La Cadena. Or call us 951-682-7770, 951-682-7770, or hit us up online, www.riversidepremiermotors.com.
Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. I am here with Jami and Marla from BringBackIntimacy.com, and we were just talking about porn and its place or its non-place in a relationship. Marla, Jami, thank you again for being here. So I want to dig a little bit more into this. Porn in the relationship, not a good thing. And I've been in earlier relationships in a different life where that was in the mix. And here was a part of my experience. I began to anticipate my partner acting out what I was seeing in these adult movies. And after a while, that definitely took its toll on the relationship because I felt a shift. I know she felt the shift. And so we had to cancel that out and get back to the basics. When it comes to reconnecting, and either one of you can answer this question, is it good and how good is it to get back to the basics of the relationship after having to make, these type of adjustments?
Yes. And I would say that anything that gets in your head when you're intimately involved with your partner, other than your partner, is something that you need to take a good, close look at.
Okay.
Is it helping or is it hurting? Because what I can say about this is myself and every man that I've worked with, when their head is clear and focused on their partner, that is when they have the best sex of their lives.
I agree. 100%. Absolutely. Right. Thank you for saying that. Fellas, pay attention. Pay attention to Jami. He's dropping gems. Him and Marla are both.
call it ADHD or whatever, but because if your attention is taken from your partner,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't tend to want to turn towards them and want them to turn towards you emotionally, physically, right? If you're not having that kind of focus on your day, can't wait to get home kind of thing, then, if you're spending that dopamine other places on your phone or with other people, then, that's going to be I mean, we're not saying don't have friendships and don't be a connected person at work.
For sure.
We're saying mind your emotional fidelity.
Very well put. I like that. Emotional fidelity. A great sex life only happens when there is a deep and meaningful emotional connection. Now, this is a part of your lack of emotional intimacy. So let's talk about that, because I love how you guys worded this. It says this means that you're consistently checking in, hugging for 20 seconds a day, at least, and staying connected throughout the day. Lack of emotional intimacy. Where does this rank in the relationship? How important is it to have this emotional intimacy? Because it sounds like if there's a lack of it, then it's just going to make these two individuals grow distant. Am I saying that right?
You are, definitely. And what we know is that this is actually the number one most important thing.
Okay.
When you have a lack of emotional intimacy, which, again, none of us were really taught this as kids,
Correct.
as a general rule. And so not being taught how to manage our emotions, how to share our emotions, how to be emotionally connected. Watching our parents, for Jamie and I both, my parents, they had emotional connection off and on, but mostly my dad was emotionally abandoning, and my mom would be put into that more passive aggressive, controlling space, right? That's what I saw. And Jamie and his family, I mean, emotional connection between your parents, emotional intimacy was almost, would you say?
Probably totally absent. My dad would rage, and then we'd all cower, and that would be the end of that. So that was rough. But so it wasn't it also wasn't a very imbalanced view of what a relationship could look like.
And we're not talking about just talking. We have a lot of clients because we have a format where we talk about. I think you saw us do this. Is checking in, and with checking in, you're saying this is happening. When this happens, whatever that is, I am feeling. And so when you're looking at our feeling wheel is pretty cool. It's a circle, and on the top, the north side feelings are the feelings that people quantify as negative emotions, which all feelings are important. So we don't put them in categories necessarily, but that makes more sense to people. And then the bottom side of the wheel is all those really positive, connected emotions. So when we are sharing in check-in, if we have anything from that north side, any of those negative emotions, any of those emotions that are difficult throughout the day, especially between each other, we need to be sharing that in check-in. Something like, yesterday when you were distant with me, I felt, and it might not be that, when I sensed distance from you is a better way to say that. I felt confused, hurt, and misunderstood. And so being able to share from the heart is a completely different thing than just sharing the story about what happened yesterday and why I'm so upset about it.
And it requires one fundamental agreement before you can do that.
Wow. I think it's
and that agreement is that you have to agree that your feelings are real no matter what they are.
Correct.
And your partners are real no matter what they are. And only you are responsible for yours, and they are responsible for theirs.
Man, I love the way you guys, it's so poetic how you break this stuff down, but it makes so much sense in this space. And so I know we have a lot of people, over 216,000 people streaming right now. We know that we have people listening. We know that we have people really taking in what you're saying. Thank you so very much. We are here with Jami and Marla from BringBackIntimacy.com. I love these two. We will be right back.
Get your next nutrition coach at thebodysynthesis.com today.
Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. Today, I've had the blessing and the honor of connecting with two of my favorite people. You guys have heard me say that all show, and it's true. Jami and Marla, they are so awesome. You mentioned earlier about sharing the same heart. You know, I've heard a lot of things in my lifetime, but I've never heard that as it pertains to a relationship. Sharing a heart. Either one of you, please dive into this real quick. Unpack this. When it comes to sharing a heart, I mean, just go into that. That is so poetic again.
So you've probably heard of, the idea that when you have a relationship, the relationship is like the third party in the relationship. Right. So there's my individuality and Marla's individuality.
Correct.
And then there's this third entity that we create together. It's what we call our coupleship.
Nice.
Right. And that entity, it has its own kind of life, right? And how we feed it and how we nurture it. That's the coupleship we want to have, right? We want to feed and nurture and grow and be leaning in the place where our values match.
And where our hearts match.
Mm-hmm.
What's really cool about this is that even in exercise, so Jami and I do a lot of different things together. We'll paddleboard together. We had a tandem for a long time. Okay. We love to walk and hike and all the things, right? So what happens when you do that with your partner is that your hearts actually get into a space where they are at the same rate. Connecting.
And not just at the heartbeat. We're talking about the frequency level. Heartmath.org, by the way, has all the science on this. Tremendous stuff. The studies are thick. They're hard to read, but I'll tell you what they say. They say that when you're emoting your heart, they can measure your heart at 15 feet away, what the electric-magnetic pulse of your heart is.
Wow.
And we believe that varies with your emotion, and you're communicating at the heart level. Remember when they used to say in communication that, it's like 90% nonverbal, right? Mm-hmm. And they used to say, it's all body posture and facial expression. Well, that's only about 25% of it. They try to make that into a much bigger piece because it's really what your heart is
telling the other person.
Wow.
And so when you're in tune emotionally, when you're connected, when you're sharing that heart language of what's that true, real emotion, feeling word, you are sharing hearts. And your heart can become, Jami and I, it sounds really crazy, but it feels like our heart is the same. It feels like, and people say, talk about enmeshment and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the deep emotional connection that brings you to a place where you are soul connected, heart connected.
Nice.
And it comes with having those kinds of conversations that sometimes are hard. Sometimes it's very difficult to share vulnerably what's really going on with your heart because you're afraid of rejection, or you're afraid of abandonment, or you're afraid of being controlled with it. And so it's that agreement that Jami talked about. My feelings are real, Jami's feelings are real, and we respect and love each other's feelings no matter if we don't agree with the circumstances that are being brought up. But we still honor and respect each other's feelings.
And give empathy for that. I can understand how you feel that. Oh, man, that sucks. I feel that too.
I love this. I love it so much. One of your posts says, real intimacy requires daily intentional efforts. Love that, by the way. That clearly demonstrates to your partner that they are safe, they are seen, and they matter. Before we get out of here, let's dig a little bit into that, because that I subscribe to that. I'm a advocate for seeing your partner. I'm an advocate for making them feel safe and making them feel as they matter. Amber and I, we're very, transparency is one of our love languages. So we're always communicating, we're always sharing, we're always talking, and it really does keep things fresh. What is your take on real intimacy requires daily intentional efforts? I know you got the 20-second, is it hug and kisses? And I love those. I love that completely. Is there anything else that we could let the people know that they can do to be more intentional about their efforts in the relationship?
Well, when you learn how to feel your feelings in the moment. Nice. And you have an interaction with your partner, and say you're on the way out the door and you go and you think, well, that interaction, it wasn't what I wanted it to be, or if you have an irritation about it, what you have to do is take that captive and really dig into what is going on with that, taking personal responsibility for your feeling first. And then making sure that you're taking a step towards your partner in that area next time you have a chance to interact. Because, what happens is oftentimes in our kind of like, we're busy world, right? We're not really thinking about what's going on, and we have this little thing that happens that maybe it wasn't even a negative interaction. This might have been a little disappointing when you think about it or whatever. And then you think, and then what you do with that, that's what I'm talking about, what you do with it. So then when you come back to the conversation and you say, and you have a safe enough relationship and a place that you can say, I have disappointment about this, and it necessarily wasn't about you, but I wanted you to know that I had disappointment around that. Wow. And it changes everything. Your partner can say, okay, I hear you. Let me think about that and see what we can do next time.
Or it's also what we've practiced consistently is in the moment. Same scenario, and the other person says, I might say, Jamie says that I was disappointed, and I would say, I hear you, and I believe that. I can see how that can be true, and also it was definitely not my intention. This was what was going on with me. This was my intention. Or like Jamie said, sometimes you have to think about it. What was going on with me, and what was that about? Usually I make up so much stuff about what still to this day, and we've been doing this for a really long time, about what Jamie's thinking and experiencing, because he's the one that goes a little bit more distant. Like if he's thinking about something, or he's processing something, or he's going through strategy or whatever, he can get distant. And forever in our relationship, I'd make up that it was me. And so now when it happens, I just say, hey, I'm sensing distance. And what I'm making up is that you're upset with me, or that there's something here between us. And 99.9% of the time, Jamie says, wow, that isn't at all it. That I'm not sure. He'll say, or like, I'm not sure what's going on with me. Let me take a gut check and I'll get back with you in 15 minutes. Or he'll say, wow, that wasn't my intention. I'm just really focused on this project that I'm doing. And I'm feeling really connected with you.
I love
it. So it's just in the moment being able to check, hey, I'm sensing this. I'm making this up. And then your partner has the opportunity to say, and is that accurate? And your opportunity to say, no, that's not accurate. I'm actually not thinking that or experiencing that. And sometimes they'll say, well, yeah, I am feeling a bit distant from you right now. Hey, how can we reconnect?
Communication is super important. Clearly, I'm hearing you both, and I love the fact that you guys have that safe space within your relationship, within each other, and then, of course, within yourselves. We're going to be right back with Jami and Marla from Bring Back Intimacy. They're going to give you guys all of their socials. You will know how to connect with them, how to email them. We'll be right back. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares.
People don't even listen to a body of work anymore. I think people are so brainwashed. You get up in the morning, you click on the computer, you see all these pictures, and it's all you think of is the picture and the image that you see all day, every day, and you don't see the human form. And I think when Nina Simone put out music, you loved her voice. That's what she wanted you to love. That was her instrument. But you didn't get brainwashed by her day-to-day life and what her child is wearing and who she's dating and, all the things that really, it's not your business, and it shouldn't influence the way you listen to the voice and the art, but it does.
Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. Today has been epic. It's been a beautiful Saturday with two beautiful people, Jami and Marla from BringBackIntimacy.com. Please, the both of you, feel free to shower all the listeners with your socials, how they can connect with you, where can they see you and follow you next.
All right, so we have a lot, so just hold on to your hats, people. So we have our website is bringbackintimacy.com, like Tavares has mentioned. I have my social at Instagram. It's at Bring Back Intimacy Marla. and I have my Facebook, which is Marla J. Keller Muncie. It's huge, but we also have, that's my personal, and everybody's welcome to come check that out. And then our business page is Bring Back Intimacy page on Facebook. And thinking of
Instagram.
I got my Instagram. It's your
TikTok.
Instagram. We have TikTok too.
Bring Back Intimacy Jami is my
Jamie
Instagram.
without an E.
Yeah, and I spell it funny. I was lazy in kindergarten. I only have an I, no E at the end.
And your personal page is just Jami Keller. Right?
And yeah, my first Jami Keller, and then TikTok.
We have TikTok, and it's at Jami and Marla.
And we have a YouTube, and it's Reignite.
It's into the Intimacy Reigniter podcast.
Intimacy Reigniter podcast.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else? That's it.
You know, smoke signals. We could be reached anyway.
Okay. Marla at bringbackintimacy.com for emails. Jami at bringbackintimacy.com for our email. So, you can, we're pretty much not that hard to find.
The best thing, if you're interested in upgrading your relationship and working with us, make that free relationship breakthrough session that's on our website. And that's a free thing that we can sit down and talk, figure out how to help you best.
I love you guys so much. And by the way, Amber and I definitely took advantage of that, everybody, and it was great. That's how we connected with Jami and Marla. And they're very lovely. They're very kind. They're very warm. And they're gentle. So we understand that the relationship talk that we've been talking, I think, Marla, you mentioned it can be triggering from some. Talking about sex can be triggering for some. So we want to be gentle. And I'm going to say to the guys, it's okay to be gentle. It's okay to show affection. It's okay to be intimate. And by the way, intimacy is not just about sex, fellas, okay? We have to be able, like Jami has said many times today, turn to your partner. Don't turn away from your partner when things are going bad. If anything, turn towards your partner and connect, work together. Don't just desert the relationship or the conversation, because there's something to be said there. And after all, you guys are both in this partnership together. And so, two heads are better than one. Are there any last words from either one of you?
All I'll just say is that, well, first and foremost, Tavares, and obviously to Amber as well, we love you guys so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We value your work. You offer so much to our community, world community, but also the communities that you guys are a part of. And so thank you for being who you are, and also for inviting us into this space. We very much appreciate it.
I would just add in that, 72% of professionals are suffering because of the relationship at home.
Wow.
And that is a huge statistic. And this is the fix for that. Getting that emotional communication commitment life set.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here on Living in Truth with Tavares. The show's going to be up and available in 2 hours. I'm going to go ahead and put all of your links in the description so people will be able to do a live click right from the description of the podcast. I always do that. It's a great way to get my followers to follow you. And I just want to thank the both of you for being in this space with me today, for sharing your time, your love, your light, your energy, your vibration, and your frequency, because all of those matter. And I just want to say thank you so much for pouring into the community. Thank you so much for pouring into Living Your Truth with myself, with the team here, and all of the listeners from all around the world. Everybody, Jami and Marla from bringbackintimacy.com, lock in with them, check them out. They are a beautiful team to work with, and their experience is all that and then some. They are top tier professionals, so make sure y'all check in with them. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. We will be right back. Hey, Tavares here from Living Your Truth with Tavares. Always take time for your mental health. You matter. You are very important, and many people love having you around. So take the time for your mental health. I know life can get crazy. I know we all get busy. I know we got to be here, there, here. Oh yeah, and can't forget that meeting. I get it. But take the time to give yourself enough time so that
you can cruise along into your day and about your day. There's no need to be playing catch up throughout the day. We all hate that feeling. I know I do. I can't stand rushing. It gets on my last nerve. So I do myself the honor and the privilege of giving myself a bit more time just so that I don't have to rush. There's no need to build up all that angst, all that cortisol inside your body, all that adrenaline. It's not good for you. So give yourself the time and have a great day. We'll see you next week.
Welcome back to the show. This is Living Your Truth with Tavares. Thank you to Jami and Marla from BringBackIntimacy.com for hanging out with me today. Love them. Love their energy. Love their vibration. Love their frequency. They are such an informative couple, and their work really makes a difference in the community. So thank you both for being here with me today. If you want to email me or just say hello, you can email me, livingyourtruthpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, we are at Living Your Truth Podcast. Thank you to everyone who continues to support us and tune in from around the world. In the meantime, love yourself and love each other. Peace.
Be sure to email us at livingyourtruthpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're on Twitter, we are at LIVINUR Truth. And if you're on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, we are at Living Your Truth Podcast.
Next time on Living Your Truth with Tavares.
Elevate your frequency. This will help you to ascend to new heights. On the next Living Your Truth with Tavares.
You just have to be willing to put yourself out there. And once you do, the magic will begin to happen. I'm happy to use my life as an example so that others can learn. You may have to let some things go before you become successful. Success looks different on everybody, and so does the process. Some of you want success but don't want to let go of the exact thing that's in your way of obtaining success. You can't have it both ways. Welcome to Living Your Truth with Tavares. Wow, thank you. I am living in my blessing. Thank you so much. This is great. Wow.